Umflier won't take you to the stars. Use the metal for a boat and you won't sail too far. Stop sitting in the dark, stirring metal pots about. You will change your life forever when you figure out the secret PinCode, 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 PinCode. Science can be tricky, it can overheat your brain. Science can be hard to chew, each bite can be a pain. Stop sitting in the dark, stirring metal pots about. You will change your life forever when you figure out the secret PinCode, 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 PinCode. The secret PinCode, 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 PinCode.
I never liked waiting. When you wait, the seconds drag on and on. Like they're teasing you. And when you at last get what you were waiting for, you don't get any satisfaction out of it. No joy at all. Our whole life is waiting. We wait for the water to boil, or for inspiration to occur. We wait for news, or wait our turn, or for the right moment. In summer, we wait for winter, and in winter, we wait for summer. We wait for our birthday or New Year's, and we wait for the weekend. Calendars and clocks are the worst inventions in the world. But even without them, we'd still be waiting for something. How is it possible to derive any pleasure from this gardening? It's simply impossible. How do you wait till this grows into a tomato?
Don't wait too long. It's a cucumber.
What's the difference? What's your secret, Barry? How do you have enough patience to wait for everything to bloom?
I just love gardening, and I couldn't live without it.
During winter? In winter, you can't do any gardening. How do you have the patience to wait for the spring?
In the winter, I sleep, and then it's springtime.
You fall asleep to avoid waiting. That's genius. But how? How can you sleep through the entire winter?
Well, it's so cold that all the organism's processes slow down.
Interesting. And that affects all organisms or just fair ones?
All of them, I would think. I read a few days ago that they found a frozen frog, like a block of ice. They unfroze it and presto, it was jumping all around. Why do you care?
All your functions are slowed down, and you can sleep as much as you want and when you want. If it really works, then no more waiting.
What is this, some sort of new fad? Sitting in refrigerators?
It worked with the frog, then froze him and he was good as new.
But you're not a frog. You're very much a warm-blooded sheep. You need to keep your frame warm. Although overheating's not good either. Our ideal body temperature is 36.6. Changing our temperature up or down by as little as 1 degree, and we would become very cold or hot. If our temperature changes by as much as 4 degrees, then watch out. Our lives are in danger. All of this sensitivity is due to the fact that our body's vital processes are carried out with the help of enzyme. These are substances which accelerate or slow down various chemical reactions in the organism, and these enzymes are very sensitive to changes in temperature. For most of them, the ideal temperature is 37 degrees, but at 40, they are irreparably damaged. Due to this enzyme dependency, we need to protect ourselves from extremes. That's why we wear hats in winter and go swimming or hide in the shade in summer. Instead of hiding in refrigerators, at least spare a thought for your enzymes.
And so I had to wait again. I was waiting to get better. But I couldn't stop thinking about the frozen frog. I wanted to study this issue more closely. Insofar as I never had any patience, I decided to use the technology of the future. Spheroscope! How can I freeze myself so that I can wake up later on and not wait? And that's how I learned about the fascinating science of cryogenics. Cryonics is the science of preserving biological objects with the aid of freezing. It turns out that lowering the body's temperature slows down the molecule's thermal motion, and therefore the speed of all chemical reactions. At freezing, our body doesn't just save stress from unnecessary waiting, it also stops getting old. In the future, scientists learn to freeze astronauts during long flights between planets. Before, of course, teleportation was invented. Astronauts could remain in this condition for years and not grow old or die from boredom. The unpleasant part turned out to be that our bodies are comprised of about 70% water, and when frozen, water turns into ice which tears tissue. Yuck. It was easier for insects and frogs. Their blood contains a thing called glycerin. This glycerin protects their organisms from damage while frozen. Ha! And none the worse. Ha! For the more unlucky ones, a new method was created: instantaneous freezing. Due to the rapid decrease in temperature, water molecules aren't able to collide with each other and form ice crystals, which means that our bodies stay whole and safe. Needs to be done. And now, after a few improvements, the refrigerator would be able to relieve me of any waiting quickly and safely. It worked!
It'll be ready in an hour.
At last, the moment I had been waiting for, when I no longer had to wait for anything or anyone.
Wait until it cools down.
I'm so fat! Why didn't you tell me this earlier? You should have warned me! Now I need to go on a diet, and I absolutely hate diets! All because of you! Wally! Sweetheart! Guess what? I lost 2 kilograms!
Just a minute.
It was a wonderful time. I had completely forgotten what waiting was. But what happened next was totally unexpected. How much time did I spend frozen? Centuries? Or maybe even millennia? What happened to all my friends? What happened with our civilization? I don't know. Maybe I would have stayed frozen if Spearjet hadn't crashed on this deserted planet. I understood too late that our life is expectation, and all its moments are invaluable, even those that are long and tedious, and I had missed them all. And now, all I had left was my last wait for myself.
I don't understand. Where's the ice cream?
I told you it was empty. We dragged that heavy thing around for no reason.
Hey, guys. Everything's okay.
What could possibly happen on this forsaken planet? Doko's carrying out his experiments while we all die of boredom out here.
I just wanted to eat some ice cream. And Pin, for lack of anything else to do, is overhauling the sphere jet.
My friends, I've discovered a fascinating anomaly. I'm afraid we'll have to stay here for a couple more weeks.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Enough's enough.
That's okay. We'll wait. Is that a real Firebird?
Of course not. It's her first cousin on her mother's side. And here, I'm posing for Picasso in his famous Dove of Peace painting.
I never would have believed it.
Yes, not too many people notice the similarities.
Well, this photo looks amazingly familiar.
My good friend, this entire story happened specifically because of you.
How's that? Why don't I remember anything about it?
Well, that's because you weren't there.
Honestly, it's not getting very clearer.
Oh, it's the most amazingly funny story. Everything started, of course, because of one of your usual experiments.
Oh, careful! In your hands lies the future of mankind.
Judging from this, mankind has a very heavy future. Holy carrots! It looks like a monument to that plate that I broke last week.
Maybe it was a very famous dish.
Very funny. This device, my witty friend, sends radio signals into space.
You should have just said so then. It's a radio.
Technically, yes. But this isn't an ordinary radio. In my signal, there is a friendly encoded message to alien civilizations.
There you go. You what? Believe in aliens?
Indeed I do. After all, Earth isn't the only planet in the universe. In our galaxy, there are about 200 billion stars. And at least one planet is spinning around every one of them.
What? And there's an alien sitting on every one of them?
Unfortunately, no. But given that quantity of planets, the likelihood that life exists on at least one of them is very, very high.
Be more specific, please. Is there any way to determine the probability?
It is possible. There is even a special formula for calculating the number of civilizations in our galaxy. This equation was thought up in 1961 by American scientist Frank Drake.
Cool! I wish I knew what all these squiggles meant.
Oh, that is elementary. The first factor indicates how many stars are born in the galaxy every year. The second factor, what portion of these stars have planets. The third factor shows what share of them are suitable for sustaining life. The fourth factor is the probability of life originating on the planet given the right conditions. The fifth factor is the probability of the genesis of intelligent life on inhabited planets. And the sixth factor shows the percentage of civilizations which would be capable of contact. And the last factor at last, the seventh one, indicates the time during which these civilizations exist and perhaps transmit radio signals into space. If we multiply all these values, then we will get the number of civilizations which are ready to accept a radio signal from our planet.
Incredible! So does that mean that aliens really exist?
Well, what did I tell you? You see, there's even a formula for it.
And they might receive our signal at any given moment?
And arrive here.
Theoretically, yes. However, we don't know a majority of the values in this formula yet, and can therefore only assume.
We can't have all this garbage around for our fellow intelligent life form brothers. Everything needs to be in tip-top shape.
Cosmic shape.
We need to warn everyone immediately.
What?
To us?
To fly?
Space Brothers in Arms?
What, any minute now?
We'll all be darned.
Are you ready for contact with alien civilizations?
Here they are.
The Earth welcomes you, dear visitor, who plowed at a great hurtling speed through boundless space to extend a friend of handship to our planet. We have long
so
waited for your visit, prepared
Perhaps
for it
we're
for quite
all
some
too big.
time. Our expectations have all
Looks like a
been
tadpole.
Hey!
How uncultured.
And I ask you to accept this gift as a sign of our readiness for contact out of the goodness, as they say, of our hearts.
He respects traditions.
And now for the cultural part of our program. This is a green planet.
This is winter.
This is summer.
This is a tasty little cutlet.
Is this a poem about love?
This is a shovel.
This is Reproach.
And a few more poems.
An automotive carburetor.
And this is the favorite carrot.
These are dumbbells for exercise.
These are weed and garden beds.
And this is a puzzle.
Hide and seek.
This is a creative rush.
It's a diesel fuel engine.
It's a radish and sweet butter. These are my glasses in a case.
This is a black Casanova.
These are piano passages.
These are real landscapes.
These are boats and fuselages.
This is soap.
And this is love.
This is a bicycle belt.
This is a book on elocution.
This is a green planet.
This is a favorite Earth. This is a favorite Earth.
Tell me, my friend, whether you are authorized to choose a worthy Earthling for a return trip to your planet.
Dibs! I'll go on a social visit. Fly away on a spaceship.
Crash. Certainly your application is more than worthy. But in my opinion, the one who should go should be...
The most beautiful! He must be the most beautiful, or she.
9. Contact between civilizations is primarily an exchange of achievements in the area of technical progress.
I'll go and learn about their agricultural achievements.
As a matter of fact, I wouldn't mind either. But it's very dangerous. An airless spaceship, G-forces, I mean. Only someone very well prepared could withstand such an experience.
I'm all right where I am, and weightlessness makes my horns itch.
And nevertheless, I believe that I would be the best candidate.
Why is that exactly?
Well, I don't know.
My friends, why are you torturing this unfortunate creature?
That's it. We're starting an interplanetary conflict.
And nevertheless, my friends, allow me to ask, why are you torturing this poor frog?
Frog?
But what about aliens? Visitors? How about your space radio? Didn't it work?
Oh, I see you've been, as they say, caught up in this topic. I should note that sending a radio impulse to other civilizations is not the only way to search for fellow intelligent life forms. It is possible to investigate planets which move around the stars similar to our sun and at the same distance as Earth. They are about 150 million kilometers away. If the star's radiation is greater than the sun's, then life becomes possible at greater distances from it and vice versa. For example, if radiation from the star is more than the sun's by a factor of 4, then mortal life becomes possible at a distance from the star of 300 million kilometers. Unfortunately, unexplored planets of this kind are very far from us, and it is almost impossible to see them in a telescope. Therefore, we can only guess about their existence from their brightness. A planet rotates around a star and hides a part of its radiation from the astronomer. If we periodically record the reduction of the star's brightness, then it is possible to calculate the period of the planet's rotation and its relative size. Then we calculate the mass of the star and distance to it in order to understand whether life is possible on that planet. It's estimated that in our galaxy, life could exist on approximately 11 billion planets. And if we have fellow intelligent space brothers in arms there, then our radio signal will only reach them after many, many years. Is something wrong?
And there you have the story. Ha ha ha. Contact between civilizations, space brothers in arms. My friend, you don't listen to me at all.
Did you see that?
But that's...
phenomenal. Taco! Tell the truth, Taco. Have you ever had to feel real fear? You know, genuine fear. Yes, literally just now. We understand each other. Where does this fear originate from? Well, if you legitimately want to know. Fear is a part of lives from which there is no escape. Fear is felt by all intelligent beings, from animals to insects, and according to some studies, plants. Fear is a feeling that unites everyone on the planet. What do we need it for?
Well, fear is a true gift from evolution. It's specifically due to fear that our ancestors were able to escape many prehistoric dangers. Insofar as no one back then could brag about an overabundance of intelligence, the ones who survived were the ones who were more careful. Or we could say more cowardly and afraid. Since then, much has changed. Man became more clever, built a more comfortable and relatively safer world, and fear is no longer necessary for survival, even if unfortunately we haven't gotten rid of it. Not to mention that, with our intelligence growing, we have new fears not directly related to any threat to our health. We're afraid to make important decisions or be rejected. We fear criticism and failure and public speaking and a lot of other harmless things. But since our reactions to fear remain the same, our bodies propose dealing with fear in the oldest way: running away. It's not clear that fear serves any useful purpose and might only make life more difficult.
Thank you for the lecture, but the question was rhetorical.
What's bothering you so much?
Rosa, it's time we grab the bull by the horns. No, maybe the ram. We can't keep going like this. You're attractive. I'm incredibly handsome. No, that's unnecessary. I'm gonna try and improvise this. Rosa. And that's when it begins. At first, a total stupor. I can't say anything at all. Then my knees start shaking, and my heart's beating like crazy, and I get goosebumps all over. And it's the same way every time.
Wally, in 5 minutes, you'll be an absolutely different person, without fear and beyond reproach.
With no fear and beyond reproach?
You definitely will thank me. I'm going to change your manifestation of fear.
I'll stop being afraid?
No, science can't do that, but you'll be afraid in a different way.
What's the point?
All right, first a little theory, though. Packaged together with the feeling of fear are 3 possible reactions to fright. This is flight, aggression, and worst of all, stupor. On top of this, the body launches a corresponding process, like, for example, an increase in heart rate to facilitate better circulation to the muscles. The body also starts producing adrenaline, a hormone which gives us strength and flexibility. Unfortunately, it also makes us shake and go pale, as well as feel like we have an empty stomach when we're scared. This is because adrenaline redirects blood from the skin and stomach to the muscles and brain, which are more important in a moment of danger than having, for example, a healthy blush. To stay alive, we're ready to sacrifice our hairstyle. Our hairs stand on end in order to make us visually appear more threatening in the eyes of an opponent. Additionally, our blood's clotting ability also increases so that we can better endure any wounds. And the acidity of our stomach acid increases to more quickly digest food and increase our blood sugar and energy levels. And hearing and seeing become much sharper. All of these superpowers work quite well when you need to fight or run, but alas, are not as good when you're trying to ask a woman out on a date.
My friend, in the future, they learn to change these manifestations of fear to more convenient ones. For example, instead of wanting to run, you dance instead. It sounds a little weird. Well, with your hardy constitution, you'll get used to it very quickly. What kind of constitution? All right, let's get started. Did it work? Let's check and see. What different types of new feelings? It really worked. Rosa, we need to talk.
What's the matter with you?
Don't pay any attention to that. I've long wanted to ask you to dance. That is to say, what the heck's going on? It's worse now than it was before. Yes, maybe we got too excited with the dances. Maybe we can do it so that when I'm afraid, I don't know, maybe I have a better mood. It worked. Rosa! Oh! Pagliaccio, suco amore, el pranto. Make everything like it used to be. At least my old habits of fear I was used to. But now I even miss them. It's too bad that you've given up so quickly. Huh? Did you even hear what I just said to you? Well, yes. But because of the accident, I can no longer feel any fear. All the better. Yeah, probably.
What are you doing with the electrical stuff? Everything's short-circuited. I said, who will fix the iron?
You know, I'm no longer afraid to admit anything to you. But that's not even necessary now. I don't feel anything to you.
What in the heck was all that?
My fearless friend, your technique is of course surprising. Maybe. I beg you, rethink this. You no longer have any instinct for survival. This is very dangerous. It's dangerous for those who fear danger. But for me... that's all past.
You waking up, Mr. Extreme Sports? I see you have no fear of anything anymore.
Rosa, you're such a... It's back!
Who's back?
My fear, it's back! Now I need to check. I need to tell something to you. There they are! My goosebumps! And my knees are shaking! And my heart. Can you feel my heart?
Wally, I think you should probably lie down.
I have to tell you, you are the most. No, I can't. No, I'm scared.
Wally, get into bed immediately.
I'm afraid. What a wonderful feeling. I'm petrified. I'm just petrified.
He's mad, but he's so handsome.
Outrageous. 4 o'clock in the morning and they're still...
I'm going. I didn't get very far.
Well, at last. Now I'll show you how it's done. Nine. Ha ha! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Who's the best player around?
The players landed on the Horror and Despair Square. Some player, eh? Roll the dice. If you roll less than 12, then you go back to the start. Severe.
I wouldn't underestimate me if I were you. Yeah.
Ho, ho, ho. After passing the square of Horror and Despair, the player wins. Ha! Congratulations.
Oh, hooray! Oh, that feeling of victory, that sensation of superiority.
Easy, my knitting will come undone.
Your good luck cannot be denied. Pass me the pieces, please.
Blind luck has nothing to do with it. My success is due to my branched antlers.
Baloney.
This is typical antler envy from those who don't have them.
What's to envy about antlers for those that don't have them? Exactly.
Because we belong to the happy antler community. Right from birth, we all try to answer the question, who am I? And the only way we can do that is to contrast ourselves against the world around us. If we were completely alone, then there would simply be no I. I appears only when other also appears. We are aware of the boundaries of ourselves solely in comparison with others. Just like the we appears only when another group appears, a they, if you will. All through our conscious life, we try and align ourselves with some kind of group in order to connect with the world around us. Family, profession, hobbies, place of residence, groups can be very different. In this way, each of us can belong to several groups. For example, being a representative of a group of scientists, as well as being a member of the group of footballers, or for example, the good-looking. By dividing the world around us on the principle of mine and theirs, we form an understanding of what is close to us and our tastes, habits, and goals. After all, without the feeling of my, we ourselves would feel alien to the world around us. But the owners of antlers don't have to worry, because right from birth, we belong to a very friendly and unique antlered community. Isn't that right, my kindred crowned friend?
For sure.
Wait a second. I also want to be in your community.
Apologies, but on what grounds?
I've got hooves.
But that's not horns.
That's the main thing.
Of course. Without horns, I mean. Huh?
And now?
All right. But for now, just on a probationary period, horns must be continually worked on.
Yes.
Great!
Horns and hooves. Horns and hooves. Horns and hooves. Horns and hooves. Horns and hooves.
It's not that I'm envious, but there's something to it. Self-determination.
And have you ever noticed that not everyone is fortunate enough to be the proud owner of a pair of wings?
Yeah. Wings are power.
Wings are power! Wings are power! Wings are power!
Why is it that you're the best?
7 vertebrae in the neck portion of the spine, warm-blooded, a 4-chambered heart, 1 left arch of the aorta, aerial structure of the lungs, teeth sitting in the jaw partition, and denuclearized erythrocytes.
Exactly.
But us feathered ones can do things no horned one can ever do.
What's all the noise about?
I'm afraid the hornless wouldn't understand.
And even more so, the wingless.
So here we have, that is, the winged.
And these are horned.
They're fighting over who's more important.
Precisely.
But the world, by the way, is actually run by softpaws.
Exactly.
But 2 is not a crew.
1 minute. Here's our 3rd candidate. Smart, handsome, and most importantly, he's got paws.
Don't you people ever sleep?
And why is he yours?
Take it easy.
Now take a look at those spines. Technically, that's almost a horn.
What are you doing?
Stop passing the hedgehog around. Chico, he is not a toy, but very much a bird.
Exactly. Just can't fly too far.
Yeah. Good little bird.
Right, get your horns and wings off our hedgehog.
Let him decide for himself that he's better off with us.
Who exactly are you with?
You're all bonkers.
Be an eagle, huh?
Low flying to the rain.
What weird games? I didn't understand anything. So release the bird from the cage. Horned. Instinct. Trust. Huh? Broke.
But you basically have horns. Are you sure you won't join us?
But what for?
We've got a flag.
But there are even better flags.
And we have already got an anthem. Bum bum ba-dum, bum bum ba-dum. Paws don't give in, wings and horns.
Each group should decide what are the good and useful qualities that will unite us. Against what bad and wrong things do we stand united? And who is alien to us? What customs and rituals unite our community? And finally, how do we protect our space from strangers?
Hang on a minute. Where's Chico got to?
We've lost our candidate.
Where could he have gone?
I think he went upstairs.
Geniuses.
So that's why it's best to use a regular polish, because the shine on your horns lasts much longer.
Aha!
Isn't it time you finished up? You're not the only ones who eat here.
Hurrying is bad for for the digestive system.
Oh, and I suppose hogging the shower for an hour is fine?
It's all the winged ones.
This is a provocation. You can never trust horns.
Horns are the coolest.
Soft paws rule.
We are the best.
The problem is clear. The Umflier should be divided into 3 equal parts.
Why do we have to divide things? We were fine without it before, weren't we?
Because it makes it much easier to distinguish oneself.
You should at least try to join someone.
You'll feel the difference straight away.
Attention, attention, everybody! I should state that the wonderful idea to separate is being rudely violated by unhorned individuals. The boundaries must be set more rigidly.
But what do you propose? Cutting up the spacecraft?
I'm not cutting. We can block the passages into the corridor and pump out the air. Then they won't pass.
Really, the amount of paper wasted. Geniuses. Huh? Huh? Open up, I'm stuck. I'm here.
Chico! He's come round.
You scared us.
Hurry, Chico! Hello!
You're all together again.
Yes. All those tribal division ideas completely failed. After all, there is one thing that binds us together.
My wise old friend, do you happen to mean kindness?
Collective insanity, my friend.
Geniuses.
Let me in, please! Oh, there you go!
So what is it that you all find out in this daggum space, huh? Romance? Adventure? What kind of romance is there out here, for the love of Pete? We're muddling about in this emptiness like a teaspoon in a glass. As if we solved all the problems on Earth, huh? As if it were better to cultivate new ground or something.
How, pardon me, old-fashioned of you. Our universe is amazing and beautiful, and our Earth is merely a cradle out of which mankind should have long ago climbed out of.
Earth isn't a cradle, it's a home. A home which protects us from all the universe's dangers. Space is a real hotbed of various cruel and dangerous things. Let's take the sun, for example. It's thousands of degrees. It wouldn't fry us up and not even notice. And that's not even the brightest star in the universe. And then there's nasty things in space like space radiation. Streams of particles from stars and other radioactive gunk. We can't even see it, and it might be getting a lethal dose. I'm not even mentioning meteorites and comets darting around the universe here and there. But the Earth protects us from all these troubles with an atmosphere and a magnetic field. The atmosphere keeps the sun from frying us up, while keeping the warmth in so we don't freeze at night. Comets and meteorites can't even get to us because they burn up in our atmosphere like nothing doing. And the magnetic field protects us from space radiation. And most importantly, the Earth has air. In space, it's just a vacuum with nothing but misfortune. We're strangers out here in space, you understand? And strangers we will always be.
I think I know what's making you so upset, my negative friend. It's that you've never been out in open space.
What's there that I haven't seen already?
If you spend all the time, as you say, muddling about inside the sphere jet, then you can't truly judge the universe's true beauty. Spacesuit mode on.
Let's go outside right now, shall we? And you'll see just how fantastic open space really is.
I don't want to. That is, I have plenty to do inside the sphere jet. And anyways, I don't have any time. I've been sitting here too long already.
Spacesuit mode on. I've got an idea. Computer, turn off artificial gravity.
Gravity is turned off.
Quiet, you're waking up.
Wake up, my space-hating friend. Surprise! Now you can experience to your heart's content all this true beauty.
Mercy
What's the
me!
matter?
I'm in space! Why?
Relax. You're totally safe.
I didn't know that you had a phobia about space. How come? Why didn't you tell me earlier? There's no reason to be ashamed of your fears. You should tell your friends about them, and it will be much easier. I, for example, have an irrational fear about speaking in foreign languages. Weird, no?
You see, every night since we started conquering the universe here, I have the same dream every night. I'm in open space. All around are various stars and nebulae. And then something happens. Something like a short circuit. And then I understand that's it. Every night, the same thing.
But that's just a dream. Space in reality is not really that harmful for organisms like us. One of the most common misconceptions about space is that it's really cold there, and that means an unprotected organism would instantaneously turn into ice. That's not true. In reality, space is made up of a vacuum, and vacuums are one of the best thermal insulators there are. It's for good reason they're used in thermoses. Therefore, it would take a long time for our bodies to cool down, and some simple athletic exercises would keep us from freezing altogether. There's a much higher possibility not of freezing, but of being overheated in some stars' radioactive rays. But if you're far enough away from them, then there's nothing to be scared of. Another myth about space is that it will inflate you from the inside due to internal pressure. But the difference in external pressure between the Earth's surface and open space is only 1 atmosphere, and that's not very much. An increase in pressure of 1 atmosphere is what a diver would feel descending to a depth of 10 meters. And our bodies could withstand that without any harm. The most important thing is to exhale to avoid unnecessary pressure on the lungs. Truthfully, in the absence of pressure, there are other dangers. As it happens, liquids boil faster than at lower pressures. Therefore, in a vacuum, it will boil almost instantly. And if liquids inside an organism are protected by our internal pressure, then external liquids will evaporate immediately. Therefore, the tongue in space will soon dry up. So, taking into account the lack of air, we could easily last in space at least a couple minutes. Of course, you'd lose consciousness after about 10 seconds, but the likelihood of survival is much higher than, for example, molten lava from a volcano.
Get me back to Earth. I feel more comfortable in my cradle. Well, let's take a break. Before we go, then.
There's no need to take a quick break for anything. I looked into Spherescope and discovered one very useful invention from the future. It's called Antiphobe. One injection of this and you'll be rid of all your phobias and fears.
Uh-huh. Along with your life, too.
No, not at all. There's no threat to your health whatsoever.
Get that thingamajig away from me.
Science should be trusted. Look here, nothing bad will happen at all.
Daco. Are you okay?
Parlez-vous français? Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Kazakh nie siedzi? Hola, mi llamo Doko. ¿Cómo estás?
Daco, where are you going?
Mon crayon est grand et jaune. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir?
Where are you going?
Voglio pizza pepperoni. Добро пожаловать в Москву.
Wait, will you please give it
Je
a
ne
rest?
comprends pas, je vais bien. Ja, das ist fantastisch. Homo homini lupus es. Regime scaphandar. Kogi isayo opa Gangnam Style.
Hey, quit fooling around.
Por favor, hable más despacio. Yo no comprendo.
Daco? Daco, over. Come back here immediately.
Jerefe, quitos.
Computer, bring him back immediately.
Incorrect request. Spherejet is not equipped with external tools.
Non parlo molto bene italiano. Ripeta, per favore, arrivederci.
And where did you go, you linguistic disaster?
Surprise!
Attention. Danger. Spacesuit is depressurizing. Return to ship immediately. Attention.
Daco!
Danger.
Spacesuit's mode
Attention.
on!
Danger.
What the heck is this?
Spacesuit is
Okay,
depressurizing.
I'm coming!
Return to ship
Already!
immediately.
Hold on!
Attention. Danger.
Dang you.
So, taking into account the lack of air, we could easily last in space at least a couple minutes. Of course, you'd lose consciousness after about 10 seconds, but the likelihood of survival is much higher than, for example, molten lava from a volcano.
Are you awake yet, polyglot? How do you feel?
Why am I tied down? This is embarrassing.
Pardon-moi, monsieur. I'll be right back to untie you. I'm just gonna fly around. It's so beautiful out here that it hurts. I'll be darned. Open space.
Change in flight path. Please confirm.
I confirm. That's new. Where are we going today? What's the difference? Where's us flying today? Nowhere. Go take a break. Better yet, go to sleep. Nothing interesting here.
Better leave him alone or he might sting you.
What? Did he get stung by something?
A fly. He got stung by something, my friend. It was just something a lot larger. Remember? The whole thing started when you invented that shrinking machine for Spherejet. Let me go ahead and tell you about it. Yeah, the story went like this. So not too long ago, I was sitting at home and thinking, as I usually do, about something wonderful.
Compression! I did it! Now I have a shrinking machine in my sphere jet. We can shrink to any size. Admit it, I'm a genius.
Listen, genius. Can't you stop by later, huh? I got a lot of work to do.
Everything else can wait. I need a volunteer.
And just where we find one of those.
Just imagine it. I could shrink you so much that you could fit entirely in this jar.
Entirely? Well, what are you waiting for then? Start shrinking. I'm tired of waiting already.
Ein Moment. Get ready. I'm turning on the shrinker.
Well, did it work?
Yeah, it worked.
Excellent. And now aim it directly at that big jar of beautiful honey. Where are we? And where's my jar of honey?
I suppose that it would be safer to conduct our first experiment using field conditions. So I transferred us to this field.
The field is safer? It's become a total jungle. Regular insects have become as big as dinosaurs.
Oh, don't worry about bugs. Our shrinking machine will definitely protect us from any danger.
Oh, and what do you think about those bugs now?
Don't worry, nothing bad will happen. Just a little bit of turbulence. For my shrinking machine, that was no big deal.
Be careful.
Oh, what a nasty spider web. Full speed ahead!
Did it eat you or something? Why don't you make this music box bigger before the web's owner comes along, huh?
9. I'll prove that my shrinking machine is not like some kind of little fly. Did you escape?
Well, think about it. A spider web is actually stronger than steel. That's science for you. For us, of course, poof, it's no big deal. But if you're the same size as a fly...
So, you didn't escape? What a shrewd little porcupine. It's just a spider web. A spider web.
All right, that was fun, but enough's enough. How about you unshrink us?
I can't. If this spider web is this strong when we're shrunken, then it will crush us when we increase our size. We have to get free first. What a sticky and awful web. My God.
At least we're not falling. Let's go ahead and get rid of it before...
Before what?
Look out!
Help me! Somebody! Hey!
Soft landing.
Hey, what are you doing? 9, get off! Bad insect! You hear me?
Quiet. Were the butterflies and spiders not enough for you? Look, these here ants can carry 20 times more than what they weigh. They could carry us away and not even notice. Ah!
The fact that an ant can drag such a large weight doesn't mean he's stronger than us. An ant can carry a large load. Large in comparison with the ant itself.
Now, what did I tell you? Better not to get involved with them at all.
But that's only because he's so small. About a millimeter. Let's try to increase him 1,000 times up to a meter. Don't be afraid. Now, the weight of this giant ant is 1 billion times more.
Exactly. That's the right time to be afraid.
The opposite. The bigger the ant becomes, the more helpless he is, because force increases less than weight. There's the ant. We increase him by 3 parameters: length, width, and height. That means the body becomes 1 billion times heavier, but the strength of his feet only 1 million times.
I'm completely confused by all those zeros.
Put simply, the ant will become very big, but his muscles will not, and the ant's strength will not be enough even to lift himself. And he won't be able to lift anything else either.
So what? Now they're small and so are we, huh?
Exactly. We became small and light, but our strength did not decrease as much. So now, we can lift more than our weight. It is only a small, silly bug. We are intelligent beings and strong. We should really not be afraid.
Oh, stop it now. Like you're the most advanced race? These bugs are just as smart as we are. Just so you know, they can speak.
Bugs can talk? Ha! Don't tease, Pin. If these little bugs can speak, then I'm a bee from the moon.
That's it. The bees will help us. And then we'll see exactly who's from the moon. We just need to send them in the right direction.
You think bugs can speak?
What, you weren't even impressed that a spider almost ate us up?
They can speak just like me and you?
Let me explain in a little more detail. Of course, bugs don't communicate exactly like we do. Heck, even we haven't always been able to communicate like we do now. Our ancestors used the language of gestures. And similarly, bugs use their own language of gestures. And it's even pretty advanced. Take the bee, for example. When it finds a field of flowers containing nectar, it would be easy just to load up. But it would be a crime not to tell all your friends about it. So the bee flies right back to its hive and dances.
It dances?
Not like that. The bee dance isn't just the motion, it's their language of communication in which every move is important. In order to tell the other bees where the nectar reserves are, the bee moves in figure eights. The diagonal straight line of the figure eight is the most important part. With that diagonal line, the bee is indicating the direction to get to the right place. And the distance from the hive depends on the time it took the bee to move along that diagonal line. If it moves for 1 second, then it's 500 meters to that honey field. 2 seconds means 2 kilometers. After several minutes of this dance, the other bees fly off in the given direction.
So how did you ask for help from the bees?
Well... Hi there. Sting me. Oops, that isn't what I wanted to say. Not too far from here, there's a lot of nectar. That's it. Now I'll explain how to get there.
Are you sure you're doing everything right?
Exactly according to the instructions. While on the straight line, the bee buzzes and shakes its abdomen. 15 shakes of the abdomen per second. Feel the rhythm.
It doesn't look like they got anything from your disco dancing. Look at that! They did it! Apparently bugs do have their own language. Barry, you have opened my eyes! Oh, Barry?
And that's the end of that happy story. But then, of course, we barely got away from the bees before they realized that we had tricked them.
Awesome. But I still don't understand. Where are we going today? And why is Pin in this mood?
Moon landing completed successfully.
On the moon? Why on the moon?
Because someone here bet that bugs can speak and promised to call himself a lunar bee. Then that person should now accept his loss and live up to his side of the bet.
I'm a big, silly lunar bee.
Come on, shake your abdomen. Make it look natural. Dance like there's an onion 10 kilometers to the north.
Flight path received. Commencing flight 10 kilometers to the north.
What's he doing?
Hey, what? Come back here, you bee sting!
Stop!